So hello and welcome to this video in my 2HP Tuesdays range on the 2HP MMF Multimode filter. Now the multimode filter is a simple enough 2HP module and another great use of 2HP from 2HP. We have our audio input, a frequency, the cutoff of the filter, a CV input for that, resonance, CV input for resonance, and then a low pass, high pass and band pass output. So let's get straight into how this thing sounds. So we'll start with the low pass, go through a few different resonance settings and some cutoff sweeps. And you can tell that the resonance is really quite keen on this, in that there's a lot potentially available in terms of resonance amounts. We're just below halfway and it's already quite resonant. Let's check out the high pass. And band pass. So that's how it sounds. Let's get into some patches. So here's a drum beat with some distortion on one of the kicks and the rest of the sounds all compressed up that we're going to use through the filter. Let's just take a listen for a second. Now we're in high pass mode. Nice smooth cutting out of those lows. And that resonance is a little bit keen, so if you're going to add some resonance, you probably don't need much resonance to get a nice kind of DJ mixer style sweep. In this high pass mode, let's try some sequenced modulation over cutoff. And we'll try a sequence to resonance as well. Let's try that in band pass mode. And that'd do a great feed in, say a reverb or a delay while the dry beat came through. So there's this now filtered beat through a delay. Let's bring the dry beat in next to it. And I've sent this drum beat to an envelope follower. I'm going to patch in the envelope follower to the cutoff, and we'll get this nice kind of auto filter sound over the beat. playing with resonance and cutoff. There's some interesting effects. We could say invert the envelope follower and start with a cutoff higher. Which gives this like almost weird sucking compression kind of effect. So here we'll look at audio rate modulation and get some of those lovely glottal, throaty, formant-like overtones that if you watched any filter demo I do before, you know I really like. So I have simple saw wave, that's the green trace on data, into the filter. We're coming out of the bandpass, that's the blue trace on data, and I have an audio rate signal, it's just a triangle wave, into cutoff. So let's sweep that frequency and see how it sounds. It's really lovely and vocal, and just so you can actually see the filter and the scope a bit better, and I can reach in. Obviously in 2HP there's not that much room. Let's move this over to a simple mixer and offset module, and I'm going to control the cutoff from here. So that's bandpass without changing the modulation rate. Here's high pass. And low pass. So let's set up a sequence and mix this audio rate modulation and an envelope into the filter cutoff. See how it sounds. So with that same saw wave at the input, I now have an envelope and the audio rate modulation in this mixer, controlling the cutoff. Turn the envelope down, bring in the audio rate modulation. I'm just going to play around with the resonance. And when you lose those vocal tones with a low resonance, you still get this nice kind of fuzzy, not top end, but you can tell there's some kind of instability in there. I'm going to change the rates of this audio rate modulator. Let's try, say, high pass. And I might invert this envelope. Let's try bandpass. So there's a lot of interesting audio rate overtones to be had. So with the resonance up full, we do get an oscillating filter. Now here's a volt per octave sequence, and I'm not quite getting perfect tracking, but I don't see it as much of an issue here. Going for something a little bit more abstract. Now, with the resonance down, and an envelope into the resonance, it almost acts like a soft onset VCA. We can see in here that notes just take a little while for that oscillation to kick in. This envelope is really sharp, super fast attack, but it's just taking that while to come in. And it's this nice soft character to the front of the notes. I'm going to run this through a delay in a second, but just before we do, let's mix in some FM from another oscillator. There's certainly some interesting tones to be had. Let's take that FM source a couple of octaves up in pitch. So let's run this through some nice delay. And then play with that level of FM. And to do the FM, because we've only got one frequency input, I'm mixing in a unity mixer my volt per octave signal and setting the amount of FM just on a simple attenuator. So to finish on, let's look at some filter pings. And pinging a filter is a technique where we get the resonance just before the point of oscillation and using a trigger to the audio input, which doesn't really make sense. You don't trigger the audio input, you put audio in. But you put this trigger into the audio input and that little burst of voltage is enough to just excite this nearly oscillating filter to get a nice little decaying tone. So turning up resonance up full, coming up in pitch. There we have a simple sine tone, back in resonance off. Just below it disappearing, and the resonance is quite keen, as I've said on this, so we don't need that high of a setting to get near the oscillation. And then here's just a random trigger into the input. And the amount of resonance is effectively the length of the note. The more resonant it is, the closer it is to oscillation, the longer the note will be. And lower settings just give shorter, more percussive sounds. It's quite ranging, there's some really low subby thumps there. Right up to some high piercing stuff as well. Now with CV over resonance, it's quite interesting to add some random voltage to that as well. So sample and hold to resonance amount, random trigger to the input. We're getting sustained oscillations, random pings, more percussive sounds. Let's add a little reverb. It becomes an interesting little sound source. So that's it for this video on the 2HP MMF multimode filter. Check out other videos in the 2HP Tuesdays series and playlist in the video description. Go back and skip through the patches linked in the video description if you wish. Cheers for watching. Patreon.com/DivKid if you want to support what I do. Like, comment, all that usual stuff. Cheers for watching.